Hey up, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all managing to get back to something that resembles normality. It's been quite a decent month, to be fair. We did have some poor weather last week, but it seems to have been alright this week. Pond temperature's 15, and it's, yeah, you can see the improvement in the fish massively. It's been a good week for everything growing. As you can see, it looks a lot more lush already. Unfortunately, the blanketweed is growing as well. I did treat with Cloverleaf blanket answer a week ago. I did 2 treatments. I did video the first one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly put the footage that I shot during the first treatment. I'm going to stick that up now. So just finish mixing that in. I'm going to pour it in a bit of there we go. So we'll say goodbye to the fish for the next 3 or 4 days, I reckon. But hopefully it'll do the trick. That's a bit there. What I am going to do, just a bit at each return because I've got the air on. There's a bit in the bottom there. Yeah, look at that, it's quite a cool effect to be fair. Right, let's just whisk it up a bit. Last little drop. So, that's that. Like I said, that's a kilo in there. So that should be good for 12,500. And we will see. I will keep my eye on the skimmer because I'm led to believe it's quite effective, and it really does get at the string algae straight away. So the skimmer's maybe going to require a bit more maintenance. We'll see. So that's that. What I did notice, it says on the Cloverleaf that it will cloud the pond for maybe 2 or 3 days, or 5 days, I think it says. The following day, probably a day and a half, it was clear, and I did wonder whether it had done anything. So I gave it another 3 days and treated again. So it's had 2 kilos in total of blanket answer, and it does seem to clear pretty quickly. It doesn't cloud the pond for any massive period of time, but what it has done, as you can probably see, it's highlighted the algae, right? It's clung to the algae. And yeah, it's really highlighted it. It's turned it a lot lighter green. I think it's suffocating it, and it's gradually dying off. Touch wood. So we will see if I'm going to give it another couple of weeks. Excuse the plane noise. I'm going to give it another couple of weeks, and if it hasn't started clearing substantially, I am going to treat it again. I did hold off. I didn't want to treat with chemicals or anything really. I wanted to see if I could combat it naturally. We do periodically come out and remove quite a bit with canes, but yeah, it still persisted, so I had to do something before it really took over. So on with the monthly update. Like I said, it's been a good month for growth. You can see it's starting to look a lot more lush. The bog is really taken on. So what we're going to do, we're going to quickly have a walk around like we do on the normally monthly updates and see what's changed. You see the fish there. Oh, I will quickly mention Sheldon. About a month ago, when we were still having the low temperatures, he found himself in the skimmer, decided he was going to spend the night in the skimmer box. So it was 0 degrees, and he spent the night in 4 inches of water, which hasn't done him any good at all. He does have a swim bladder problem now, and he had the slight tail rot anyway, but it just seemed to add to it. Here he is now. But I did give him another salt bath. I've been treating him. I gave him a salt bath today for the infections. He's got a slight infection on his underside because he's spending a lot of time on his side or just sat on the bottom, and obviously that's not doing him any good. You can see when he's swimming he's always trying to self-correct almost, but he's getting there. I'm lucky he's alive, to be honest, because those temperatures in that skimmer for that length of time, yeah, he's done well to be alive. So I'm treating him as and when. He's had a salt bath again today. If I don't see an improvement with these temperatures, particularly if I don't see an improvement in another week, I'm going to do him in a PP dip and see if we can bring him around that way. Obviously not for the swim bladder, just for the bacterial infections he seems to be getting. I've done the water parameters this morning and they're all spot on, and all the other fish are absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm putting it down to that night in the skimmer. So you can see there, look, he's coming up for food, as they all are. So he is still eating. But yeah, when you come down in the morning and the temperature's dropped a little bit, he is just on his side on the bottom. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, I'm going to have a wander around. So you see this little tree, a little shrub even. That was a £3 garden centre pot. It looked nearly dead and it was on the bargain shelf. We have no clue what it is. Lovely little tree. That's coming on really nice. The stream's taken on really well, all the moss is taken really well. Some of it has come off, and a tiny bit of blanketweed in the stream, but nothing too bad, and everything's really coming through. The cosmea is coming on well, and the bamboo, like I mentioned in a previous video, thanks to a subscriber, I took it out of the ground and potted it, so the roots have got no chance to invade the liner. Salvia is really coming on, and you can see the water lilies. So we've got 3 leaves almost at full surface, and we've got a couple coming through. That's I think that's like a bulrush, so we'll see. I mean, it's getting a bit tall and it looks a bit thin really, but we'll see how that gets on. This is the bog, so you can see there's an iris trying to come through. This is not water forget-me-not. That's what I thought it was, but it isn't. If anybody has a clue what it is, I'd be grateful to know. I did find something that looks very similar. I can't remember the name of it now. But yeah, it's certainly not water forget-me-not. The thing that I found that looks very similar to this, it does have small blue flowers. So I'm wondering if I bought it as a forget-me-not and it wasn't. But anyway, and you can see these giant leaves are coming through. Is that gunner or is it gunnera? That's really good. This is a red flowering something or other. The arums are coming through nicely. I don't know if that's going to be another leaf or that might be the first flower coming through. So yeah, everything's doing really well. I'm really pleased with how it's progressing. So yeah, there we are for that. The filter's all good. We're going to do some filter cleaning today. I'm not going to film it. You've seen how I've cleaned the filters. And let's have a quick look in the bog, because obviously we planted some veggies in the veggie bog. So that's the pepper. It's wilted slightly, but now we're getting some sun. Everything seems to have perked up, including the spring onions. Strawberries are doing really well. Watercress obviously is doing really well. The tomatoes, however, not so much. They're really wilted on that end. They have rooted, so I'm leaving them just in case, and they're flowered as well. But yeah, I think they're taking on a bit too much. So I'll keep my eye on all that and see how that gets on. We've got tatties coming through already there. We've got some nice earlies in. I'll top them off later. So yeah, I think that's a little bit. Yeah, so right, so social media, if you're on my Instagram and Facebook, you'll have seen we've got some new fry, some more new fry, and they're in the tanks in the garage. I'm not going to do a video on those just yet. I'm going to do it as a oneer probably next week. And we've got some big changes happening. I'm not going to allude too much in this video, but what I will do, obviously I will film everything as I go through. I will likely put some videos out asking for help during the planning phase of what we've got planned. But yeah, it's going to be some really exciting stuff and really interesting, and the way we're going to progress. So, as always, a massive thank you to all the subscribers, new and old. Appreciate you all coming back. We've rapidly, I think we're on 800 odd subscribers now, which is unbelievable. So yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for everyone that takes the time to click through the links in the description. I think I've covered just about everything, and we'll see you again next week in next week's video. Cheers.